Alright everybody, I guess I'm uploading a few more videos today. Normally I only do one video a day unless I feel like I'm up to doing more. I'm just going to make that my daily target. So you're probably going to be seeing one video a day for a while. But this here will actually be several more videos. So anyway, Juan Guaido pledges more protests as Venezuela continues without power or water. And just as this news initially hit, it seemed that the Maduro government was prepared to begin rationing protocol for the people of Venezuela. Scattered protests continue through many working-class neighborhoods in Caracas. Gunshots could be heard after civilians set up burning barricades. And as I reported yesterday, at least one woman was injured via gunshot as civilians demanded water from their failing government. Give us water! We're getting dehydrated, we're bloated from malnutrition, we're dying horribly! Give us what we need, man! You said you'd always take care of us and support us. I mean, I'm sort of projecting, but that's, that's just sort of how I vision the way socialist countries end. But this rash of blackouts have been going on since March 7th this year. If Venezuela were to collapse any further, it could hurt the regional economy. And countries like Brazil would have to pick up the slack, which could end up affecting the U.S. due to our recent alliance with Bolsonaro. And how exactly affecting us at this point, we can't be certain. But needless to say, a ripple effect will occur. Juan Guaido and his opposition party made a statement at the nation's Catholic university, which reads, every time the power goes out, or we do not have water, or do we not have gas, guess what we are going to do? We are going to protest. We are going to make demands. We are going to take to the streets of Venezuela because it is our right. Maduro blames the situation, as I said yesterday, on Juan Guaido, saying that he is a U.S. puppet who is sabotaging the country's power grid and even trying to take over with a coup. Now, for a while, I thought maybe this was a possibility, but now I'm starting to consider the possibility that Maduro is actually either just making excuses or is absolutely paranoid. As Maduro's administration has begun a program referred to as load administration, which many in Venezuela took as power rationing. But really, the details on this program are far from clear. But this crisis has affected the work week in schools by limiting supplies and making for shorter hours. Oh, woe is Venezuela. But here's where you really start to think that Maduro's a little paranoid about Guaido, because according to Venezuelan electrical engineers, they reported this to Reuters, which is probably one of my top sources, say that this crisis is due to lack of proper investment into equipment and infrastructure. In short, nationalizing power was a mistake. I was right. The government of almost any socialist country will almost inevitably spend all that money in all the wrong places. Pay your 90% tax. Give the government all your money so we can give you electricity and water. And then when the time comes to do that, they don't do that. Instead, they end up spending that money someplace else. Go figure. This is classic. But it might be even more ridiculous than that when you consider that Maduro's blaming this problem on Juan Guaido, when really the problem belongs to the former president Hugo Chavez, who nationalized power and water in Venezuela, and then surprise, surprise, didn't spend enough money on it to maintain it. The thing about nationalizing something like that is the government has to spend on it. If the government doesn't spend on it, it falls apart. It's not Guaido's fault. The jury's still out on whether or not he's an actual U.S. puppet, but he most likely has nothing to do with the failing power and water in Venezuela. It seems to me like the obvious answer is that they nationalize power and water without the proper ability to actually keep it functioning. So, there you go. Anyway.